Somehow it makes sense. In a very strange way. Okay, I'm not the only nerd in the group, so I feel better. Say your name.
Hey, it's Sean Star Wars.
Why Star Wars?
Because I've been collecting Star Wars since I was 8 years old, so 40 years ago.
Wow.
I love it. Been doing woodcuts for 28 years and collecting Star Wars for 40.
Best Star Wars characters, the one you drew the most.
I draw R2-D2 because he's easy, and he looks cool even if he doesn't look right. And like Darth Vader's kind of a nice shape, but like I couldn't draw Han Solo or something; it would look too goofy. It just wouldn't look right. And I've never done a good Chewbacca, but like that would be something I could probably do. But the robot kind of guys are just easier because it's fun to put that organic feel to those mechanical structures.
What about the new characters? The Phasma you have in your face?
Yeah, that's all right, because it kind of just still looks like a rad stormtrooper, But the more modern looking they get, it becomes less appealing to me because I like the old stuff. In the old movies, they already had a life to them. Everything was old and beat up and broken down and repurposed. And that's kind of cool because it's like real life, instead of everything being smooth and shiny and functional. I can't see. I got my glasses off. What is that?
Take the mask.
Oh.
No, take the mask.
Do you mind if I use that to make a couple cuts?
This?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Do whatever you want.
I'll just put it back in this bag.
Man, do whatever you
No,
want.
put your glasses on and explain more or less the process of what you're doing and how that will be avoided eventually.
Okay. So what we're doing is I normally work with wood, but we're doing linoleum for this, and this is the what they call the key block for what's eventually going to be a skateboard graphic. And I could point over here and show you some of the boards that we made last time I was in California with Professor Schmidt. But this time I'm going to have much more color to it. So I have all this black right now, but eventually I'll have a separate plate for everything that is yellow or component of yellow, and then blue or component of blue. And the yellow and the blue will go over one another to give me green. The yellow and the red will go over one another to give me orange, or I'll get blue and red for purple. All those things will combine to give me some neutrals, and I'll have a complete palette just from those 4 blocks. But I'll have the same design on all 4, so I'll know that this is red, yellow goes in here, blue goes in here, purple from red and blue, and all that. So it's just kind of like a puzzle that you just kind of piece it all back together and make, leave what you need to leave and cut out what you need to cut out.
Okay. And now I'll film you what you're doing, basically.
All right. So with relief print, you start out with all of your black, and every cut you make, you're introducing white or light into your image. Okay. So I'm cutting away these little domes of R2-D2, trying to figure them out as I go along. You can see I don't have a sketch on here, so I'm kind of freewheeling it a little bit, which I'm not the most spontaneous person in the world, but I've drawn R2-D2 before, so.
What about the new BB-8s and all that stuff? Did you like them?
My kids liked them. I thought they were cool, and it was a neat toy, and it kind of made sense, At first it was a little weird, but they're pretty cool, And there's just something really kind of timeless about the R2-D2, and like BB-8 really seems like a product of his time. It seems like a technological thing that no one would have thought of 30 years ago, But
okay,
pretty cool.
We just talked about the hate for Jar Jar Binks. Say it again. From 1 to 10, how much you hate Jar Jar Binks?
I'd say a good solid 10.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, And like I was saying, if they just trimmed his ears a little bit, or maybe gave him a different paint job, or maybe, he's so flowy and kind of like this, but like if they stiffened him up a little bit, and like I've seen behind the scenes stuff how they kind of conceptualized General Grievous, and it seems like they had a real purpose, and they even took George Lucas's cough and gave it to him, and like that was kind of cool, but like I don't know what the hell they were looking at to come up with Jar Jar. And then like in spite of all of that, if he would have just been good at something, and it's like I've got 5 kids, right? for ages 2 to 13. And so I'll say, hey, let's have a Star Wars marathon, guys. I don't feel like leaving the house, all right? So we always start out with episode 1, and we get about 15 minutes into it, and we're like, all right, well, let's skip to Star Wars. We can't do it. We never can watch all of them, you know.
That's true. And what about the new versions of the 7 and the 8?
Yeah, 7 and 8, and this other one coming out. They were really cool. It was nice to see it happen that way instead of what we had with the prequels. And you know, there's good and bad, but there was mostly good in those. And there were some things. It's always nice, like in the whatever it was, Rogue Squadron or whatever it was called, the one that came out last year. Anytime you see Darth Vader, that's solid gold. You know, and like, how are they going to show him? And that long shadow cast up. Like, that was beautiful. I love that, you know. And the last minute and a half of that movie was like you'd been waiting 40 years to see something like that. So that was the best part of everything since Empire Strikes Back to me.
Yeah.
You know, because even in Return of the Jedi, you know, if you took about 20 pounds, just like with me, if you took a good 25 pounds off of me or an Ewok, he'd be much more badass. You know, they're just a little too roly-poly, you know. But at least they wear skulls around their necks and bones and everything, and so they're a little more tribal, a little more sinister, you know. But they should have been real skinny and still furry and creepy instead of so cute. And they still would have sold 1 million roller skates.
Well, now they got the new ones that they're like some little penguins.
Oh yeah, those little
porgs.
things. Yeah, And so like I really have not been hunting down the information on the new one. So I know that it's coming out like any day now. Yeah. And when it does, I'll take the kids to see it the first week, and we'll be stoked on it.
And you go dressed up and everything?
We have some, you know, but you know, I came out here a few years ago, back when that, you know, May the 4th be with you thing was really kind of happening a few years back. You know, I did a show out in Los Angeles, and we had the artwork up, but they also had a Star Wars comedy night, and they had Star Wars balloon. There's like a guy in Los Angeles that just makes balloon puppets of Star Wars characters, you know. And we had a Star Wars puppet show at lunch, and then also a costume contest, right? And the difference between Los Angeles, and I did it the next year in New York, nobody came dressed up in New York, but all the families came in Los Angeles. Father, mother, kids, you know, probably even the pets, they were all dressed up, and everybody was into it, you know. But that's like what's cool about out here. So it was a totally different vibe. You know, people came out for the thing in New York, but they definitely were not going to get dressed up.
Right.
They weren't going to get into it.
Thanks. We leave you working.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Sean Coles, but he's probably going to have better luck if he calls Professor Schmidt. And he lived right across the street from Ryan, and I remember, like, he said, okay, meet me at my house at 3:30, and I was like, wow, that's like an hour and a half before I'm supposed to leave work. And I felt like I was ditching class. And, you know, just grab me a thirst buster on the way. That was such a mind-blowing walking into that.
That's insane, dude. You're unbelievable.
What's
Like
that?
a wizard.
Yeah, here, let me take this story. No, it's cool. I just want to see if you have any gum in your pocket. Seriously. Get the gum tap. Thinks there's nobody hanging this in the pocket? I'll play you with lady stuff.
So, damn, throwing some hands out, huh? Sweet. I take it this is not your first rodeo. No? Little.
Oh, this one looks really like a face.
Yep.
All right.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah, now I got to give him a little nose.
Can I warm with you?
Yeah, right? Feels good.
It's a Disney company now. So
Feeling pretty good about this.
there's a bit Futurama too. That's a. They haven't bought that yet.
No.
This is great. So how does this is your morning travel?
This was done influential in just pushing the envelope and mixing and matching and printmaking. And Ryan was pretty much like, hey, we're setting up this space. Sure, let's do it. And kind of hard to like parse through and figure out exactly how things happen, you know. Yeah, Nick is good. Nick's pretty much ready to print, huh?
Cool.
We have the LCAT kids coming over here later, huh?
Yeah, if you work, you should hang out and be like.
See, this is where I go wrong because I thought I was being symmetrical. I thought this was lined up and right, but it's just like not even close to the same shape and not even the same height.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, exactly. But
hard.
it's always what you think you're doing, though. That's right. That's where I always go wrong. Is I think I'm doing one thing, and I step back and I look, and I'm like, oh man, not even close.
I think you should just draw.
But I think that one. Just give this.
So Brian's actually ready to.
It's freehand, so
Yeah, there we go. Bam, done.
handmade.
All right.